Good evening, C3 parents. I'm your host, Karien Pitout, and welcome. I am super excited to have this conversation with you. The conversation of when should our children stop seeing us naked? Basically, nudity in the home as a whole. Now, hit that like button, comment down below, let me know that you're here. If you're here, I appreciate participation as this is the conversation. Hi, Kim. This is a conversation that is not just a one way, hopefully one way speech, but actually where we engage with each other. Right now, often in some parenting spaces, we actually hear that parents are concerned about their kids seeing them naked. Now, there are quite a few things. Good Anita. There are a few things that we actually need to discuss with each other, and while we wait for more people to join in, look at this. Wearing the hoodie, my body, my rules, which is actually linked to our body autonomy, and actually links with this conversation that we're having tonight. Um, so one of the first cardinal things that we need to look at when we say my body, my rules, or when we talk about being naked in the house is there's a level of comfort. When our kids are still comfortable being seen naked by us, we shouldn't react about it. We shouldn't say anything about it. We should just let it go with a natural flow. Usually by their teen years, they start getting a bit self-conscious about their body, hairs growing in places where there haven't been hairs before. Um, so they will actually then start requesting privacy and all of that. The big important thing of being that open with them regarding their privacy and all of that is it opens up a conversation. When your child is asking, listen here, give me some privacy, you can actually, it opens up a conversation where you can say, okay, I'll give you the privacy, you've asked for it, and then afterwards say, is there anything that you need to know about or that you want to ask about? Why did you need privacy? Sometimes it could be that you can pick up on bullying with your child. Let's say your child has been ridiculed at school for their body size or their body type, and all of a sudden they want privacy where they previously have not wanted privacy. You can open up that conversation. And if they ask you, but why are you asking now? Then you can say, I'm just checking and to make sure that everything is okay. I respect your privacy and I respect your boundaries and I respect your space, but you are welcome to keep your space. I just needed to make sure that you don't have the wrong idea about how awesome your body really is. We have a culture in our society that nudity is problematic. And therefore, we'll see, and recently this week, I saw a post of a parent asking, when should a father stop seeing his daughter naked? Um, I've got various knee jerk reactions to that kind of question, and I will get to that closer to the end of the conversation um, due to various things. But there's a lot of parents that's out there, and we ask ourselves the question, when should our kids stop seeing us naked? Now, the basic straightforward answer is our kids should stop seeing us naked when they are starting to feel uncomfortable seeing us naked. And there's actually very valuable reasons for that. We live in a society where there's easier access to things like porn, like naked and nude pictures. We are bombarded with the perfect bodies and advertisements and on TV and all of that. And it kind of gives a person the wrong idea of how a body should age and how a body should look. Now, there is absolutely, I believe there is people that looks absolutely gorgeous when they're naked. Even after having 7 kids, they still look absolutely stunning. But in reality is what we see on TV, what we see in advertisements, what we even see in porn and in all those kind of settings is photoshopped images, touched up images. And it can create in a child the idea that they're never be able to live up to that, that they actually start feeling ashamed of their own body. So them actually seeing us naked, both dads and moms, they get a realistic perspective on what is expected, what is a normal aging body. And it also helps them feel more comfortable in their own skin. And this one, I want to talk to the girls and to the ladies out there. We have been bombarded so much with the images of magazines and that expectations, like you have to lose weight and you have to look perfect, and no wrinkles and no sagging, and all of these messages that we keep on receiving, that very few of us are even willing to have sex with the lights on because we feel so ashamed of our body. We don't want our children to have that. Not that I'm saying sex with the lights on is amazing. It is, but to each his own. But the whole reality is, why do we prefer the lights off? Is because we feel uncomfortable with our body, because we get bombarded with unrealistic body expectations. And those unrealistic expectations, our children are being bombarded even more, especially in the era and the age of social media and instant access to imagery. So that whole process of wanting to hide our bodies actually creates a warped idea of what a natural body looks like. Now, if you ask any teenager, and you can ask any person, and I'm even asking you, the thought of having sex with your parents really grosses you out, doesn't it? Well, there's a reason for it. It really is. No, no, thank you. Even the thought of your parents having sex is. Mm. So, you being naked in front of your kid won't elicit sexual thoughts of your kid towards you. And it won't elicit unless there's something. I'm going to say it this way, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for it saying it this way. But if you feel sexually attracted to your child, you need to go get help, because it's your child. Then there's something else that needs help. So this is generally, our kids are allowed to see us naked, and they should see us naked. And girls should see their fathers naked, and boys should see their mothers naked. I will get to the comment that you made, Kim. They have to see us naked, so that first of all, they get a realistic expectation of what an aging body looks like, and second of all, so that they know that there is no shame to the naked body. Yes, we cover up when we go out in public. We wear shirts and we wear pants and we wear underwear. Some people like to go commando, but we cover up when we go out in public. So there's still privacy. My body is still private. But you're my child, and if I'm in the bath and you have an urgent conversation that you have to have with me, I'm willing to negotiate my privacy or let go of my privacy and say, okay, come sit down and let's have a conversation. Because sometimes when we are more relaxed, whether we're in the bed or we're in the bath, we are actually more open to have those kind of conversations. And our children seeks out those opportunities to have this conversation. I understand there's big fears of we sexualizing kids by exposing them to naked bodies. But here's the reality. Kids that do not see a naked woman or a naked man, kids are naturally curious. When we grew up, there was this game, Doctor Doctor, round about preschool. And very, very few people of my age was not exposed to that kind of mindset of, I'll show you mine if you show me yours, plain because of curiosity. We want to know what other naked bodies look like. A space where your child, out of curiosity, will get into a difficult position or a compromised position where their curiosity overplays their rational sense and their ability to think through the actions, because it's really an innocent curiosity at that age. Now we're hiding. Oh no, dad, you can't see dad's penis, and now we're hiding it. Or you can't see mom's vagina or her breasts. Now you're hiding it. What's going to happen? That curiosity is going to be piqued, and you actually create a space where your child then is going to be curious and ask about it, and ask questions. In our home, it is really nothing. If the kids walk into the room when my husband's getting dressed, he doesn't all of a sudden cover up and go and hide. He's busy getting dressed. There's nothing to hide. If you're afraid, and this is the more serious part of the conversation, not that the rest wasn't serious. If you're afraid that you are reaching a point where you are uncomfortable, where you feel your child is a bit older now and you are not feeling comfortable, you're more than welcome then to go and say, hey, you know what, you're old enough now to understand that when the door is closed, you cannot come in, you knock, and I will tell you when you can enter, and you can decide what space of nudity your child sees. But if it's from the get-go that you hide your body, you're basically setting your child up to explore and be curious in spaces that is not safe for them to explore and to be curious about. Actually, the other day I had a conversation with a teenager, and in their home, parents and nudity was not a big issue. And he basically recalled when he was about grade 3 or grade 4, one of his friends came to school and said to him, "Oh, you must see this naked woman, and the boobs and he's like, I've seen it before. It's nothing new. So that enticing curiosity, that enticingness of it actually wanes because nudity is not a big issue. If you are afraid to let your husband see any of your kids, whether your child is male or female, if you're afraid that your spouse or your male life partner sees your child naked, or helps your child dress, or helps to change your child's diapers because you are afraid of molestation, please get out of that relationship. That's point blank. You cannot claim that you trust your spouse enough to be married to them and build a life with them, but not trust them to take care of your children, whether it's bathing, whether it's changing diaper, all those things. If you suspect your spouse could be a molester, get out of that relationship and protect your child. And that is one of the core issues. You're not protecting your child against your spouse by saying, oh no, but my kid's not allowed, my spouse is not allowed to see my kids naked at a certain age. That is, then you already suspect that your spouse is a danger to children, and then you need to get away. So there is no reason for a father or a mother not to change a diaper or to help their kids get dressed or to see their kids naked, except when their child says, I'm done, I need my privacy, I need my space, I'm okay. And unless I call you for help, I want to protect my body. Then you respect that privacy. And like I said, it goes to both ways. But perfectly speaking and ideally speaking, get comfortable being naked in front of your kids. Get comfortable letting them see you and your life partner naked. It is nothing to be ashamed of. It actually protects your child, and it helps them to have a realistic expectation of what bodies look like as they grow older. That actually sets up their life partner to have a satisfying life where they don't have to worry about the stretch marks after pregnancy, or if they've gained weight, or when the breast starts sagging, or when the beer belly starts growing, and they won't even have to be ashamed if they have. And that is also something that happens is as they grow older, the wrinkles, and I know we're in a lot of, you can see I've got mommy bags. As we get older, our faces and our bodies just doesn't look the same like as a 20-year-old. And we shouldn't let our kids expect their spouses and their life partners to look like a 20-year-old for the rest of their lives. So I'm going to open the floor to additional comments or any questions that you guys would like to ask about this. It's actually been quite a short workshop or short conversation. Kimi says, I'm thinking about this the other day. I hope H won't have anybody expectations. He can bath with me until he decides that he's uncomfortable with it. Absolutely. Our 7, almost 8-year-old, the other day, I was having a bath, and I swear the moment he hears the water run and he sees me going to the bathroom, it's like, I want to come and chat. And it was a half an hour to 45 minutes of intense conversation. And we're busy preparing to move to a different country. And he was just, finally, he's a child that doesn't really like to talk about his emotions. And him just getting in the bath with us, with me, he was relaxed, and he actually started talking about the things that he worries about. And I finally had an opportunity to really get to struggling with, and what is his expectations of the move, where in any other situation I wouldn't have had that opportunity. It was just the two of us, and we had that conversation, and I'm closer to my son due to that. So those are just some of the benefits of embracing the nakedness in our families. Anything else that you guys would like to add? Hit that like button if you enjoy the conversation. If you disagree, hit dislike, or if you disagree, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Otherwise, we're going to have to finish our chat. And okay, no, Swan still shows with me. Unita, as long as he's still comfortable being in the shower with you, and as long as both bodies can still fit in there, and I guarantee you, when he's a teenager, he's going to reach a point where the whole idea, like, showering with my mom, it's just gonna, think about it. Would you have jumped in the shower with your dad when you were a teenager? Mm-mm. So no, he will reach a point where it's not okay for him anymore, and he will find alternative means, whether it is snuggling, crawling into your bed at night and having a conversation with you, or he will find other ways, and you guys will find other ways to connect once he's reached the point where he doesn't want to be in the shower with you. The starting has gotten so uncomfortable. I haven't done. All right, Kim, but that is your okay. So basically, in your family setup, where it is foster care and those kind of things, and the staring made you feel uncomfortable, and therefore you put a boundary in place to protect your own comfort zone, and that is something that we need to take into account when we're dealing with this. Yes, obviously the child's comfort takes preference, but like I said, if you as an adult start reaching a point where you are feeling severely uncomfortable with the situation, whether it's staring or whether I've got a very kinesthetic child, and he loves touching, and he will touch you, that I actually had to put down a boundary and say, okay, when I'm naked, you're welcome to sit and keep me company, but keep your hands to yourself, not because he's some other weird pervert. He loves touching, and when he sees something that draws his attention, he wants to touch it. And my sagging, wobbly belly is obviously one of his favorite touch points, and I'm like, I don't want that. So we put that boundary in space, and now he will sit on the bed when I'm busy getting dressed, and he will keep me company, and we'll talk everything through with me. But it's putting that boundary, and when you need to put that boundary, because that it is still your body and it's still your rules. We just need to be cognizant that what is the reason we are demanding that nobody sees anybody naked in the home? Is it because we're scared of sexual or sexualization? Or is it because our comfort zone is not comfortable anymore, and we need that space, we need that boundary? And if it's that I need that boundary because I am really not comfortable with it anymore, then we put that boundary in. If it is because I'm scared that my kid seeing me naked is going to sexualize my kid and create this sex maniac child mindset, in Afrikaans the expression is vroeg gryp vroeg vrot. If I'm scared of that, then that is where we kind of need to hold on the brakes, because we are projecting adult thoughts onto children's minds. And I can guarantee you a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old is not looking at their mom or their dad as this yummy partner sexually. They're looking at this like, oh, it's mom, it's dad. I get to spend time with them. I get to sit in the bath with them. I get to keep them company while they're getting dressed. It's a natural flow of things. Anything else that anybody else would like to add? Ooh, how do you explain to him that it's uncomfortable? All right. So what you can do is you can actually just sit down with him and say to him, listen here, buddy, I really, really, really love you, but I have, I know you've got the older sibling as well. Let me just quickly think 2 seconds. Now you guys see me. This is how I look before I even type anything out on Facebook. Anyway, what you can do is you can sit down and say, from listen here, buddy, you know what? I feel really uncomfortable when I'm naked and you keep on staring at me. It's just how I feel and how my privacy bubble feels, and it's really making me uncomfortable when people stare at other people, whether they are dressed or whether they're naked. When we're naked, we feel a bit more vulnerable, and being stared at during that. Ooh, there's a connection. Okay. So when people stare at us, we feel uncomfortable, and when we're naked, we're more vulnerable. And then, so having that vulnerability while I'm naked and you're staring at me is making me feel uncomfortable. I sense my own discomfort, and I would prefer for you to not be in the room while I'm busy getting dressed or when I'm naked. And you guys can guide him through the whole stop staring, stop, that kind of things. And what you also can do is when he sits and he stares, ask him, what are you thinking? A lot of times we tend to stare at things and then we're not really seeing, we're just looking in a specific direction, like the lights are on but nobody's home kind of stare. So you can always interrupt the stare and look at him and say, what are you thinking? What are you looking at? What is it that's fascinating you? He might be staring, looking at your body, trying to figure out how everything, maybe looking at stretch marks, or maybe looking at, not that any woman ever has stretch marks, but maybe looking at something specific on your body, whether it is a mole or whatever, and it drew his attention and he's just staring at it and he's wondering about it, but he doesn't know how to ask the question. So you can have conversations with him about that. Yes, I think have that conversation with him. It's a huge pleasure, Juanita. So have that conversation about, staring. And I know I actually had to train myself to stop the blank stare at people. Now I usually carry a book with me and with a pen and paper. And when I have that moment, I make sure that I actually have a pen and paper in front of me so that people think that I'm busy thinking to write something while I'm actually just blanking out and playing with my nothing box in my head. So it could just be that he's got this habit, and that habit can create discomfort. So you can use it in both scenarios, naked and clothed, and just guide him through that whole process. Jonita, anything else that you would like to ask or add to the conversation? Anybody else here on the group? I see Kim and Jonita is here, and I see there's 4 other people watching. Unless you're lurkers, it's fine. You don't have to say anything else or add anything. And I hope that this conversation, honestly, I hope that this conversation has eased your minds and has made you feel a bit more comfortable about what you're doing. It is a huge pleasure, Kim, about what you're doing, how you're raising your kids, and how you're looking at life and trying to remember that our kids have children's brains. They don't have half the baggage that we have. They don't interpret life half as serious or in adult terms at all. Their brain is not even there in their development. So we need to treat them like kids, but with the necessary respect, and allow them to grow and get to know us and get to know us in our most vulnerable as well. We are not invincible. And the quicker that our kids actually learn that, the more respect they will have for us, and actually the more authority you have in your relationship with them. So, guys, please stay safe, wear your masks. I love you all, and I will see you in our next video. This one will be loaded in the next 48 hours, so you can share it with your friends. It will be an edited version, though. And then also stay safe, and the next live chat on YouTube will be at the end of next month. Guys, one last just add into this conversation. We have a parenting club. It's 75 rand a month. It includes a podcast, a video, a special just for the club kind of live chat. The September theme is adjusting to change. If you go to our page, you will see it's like the pinned post. You can just drop it, click on the link, join the club, come join other like-minded parents, and let's grow together. And I'm literally on that specific group and actively involved in direct questions. And I'm working on units that you can work through as a parent at your own pace and at your own speed. So guys, have a beautiful evening, and thank you for checking in, and I love you all. Cheers.